I'm in front of Coors Field, where I'm about to attend a great Dodgers versus Rockies baseball game. Yes, I'm Professor MJ, a Canadian Statistics University professor, and today I'm going to reveal three winning MLB betting systems that are all related to something that I call the blowout effect. Kaboom! Keep watching through the entire video if you're interested in gaining more than 12 times your average bet in each and every single MLB season. In this video, I'm going to answer the following question. When a team blows out an opponent, how do these two teams react in their following game? The results presented in this video come from a dataset on all regular season games from the 7 seasons, covering the 2010 to 2016 period. Unfortunately, I do not own the data on the most recent seasons, which is why they are not included in this analysis. Suppose a team that I'm going to call Team A blows out another team called Team B, which means they win by a wide margin. We consider the following three scenarios. Scenario number 1. These two teams meet again the next day. Should we bet Team A or Team B? Scenario number 2. Team A, the one that blew out its opponent, plays its next game against a different opponent called Team C. Should we bet Team A or C? Scenario number 3. Team B, the one that just got blown out, plays its next game against a different squad called Team D. Should we bet Team B or D? Alright, so this is the view from where I'm going to sit for the game. It should be a great game. Okay, so the main goal is to analyze the blowout effect. On one hand, does the team that won by a wide margin tend to follow up with a nice performance because of momentum? Or do they tend to play sloppier because they're overconfident and they play like crap? And how about the team that lost by a wide margin? Is the blowout a wake-up call for them, or does it crush their self-confidence? Are you ready to rumble? Let's get the party started by exploring scenario number 1, where Team A demolishes Team B and they meet again the next day.
Here are the results from placing $1 bets both on Team A and Team B. The day after, Team A beat Team B by exactly 5 runs, or 6, or 7, and so on up to 12 plus, as indicated in the first column in this table. So for example, when Team A beat Team B by exactly 8 runs, and they met once again the next day, Team A won 175 games, while Team B won 142 games. And based on the money lines during those games, betting Team A led to an overall profit of about $10, whereas betting Team B generated a $27 loss. So are things clear to you? This very trivial betting strategy yields some interesting and surprising findings. First of all, betting Team A, the team that just blew out its opponent, leads to an overall $20 profit, which is a nice start. However, we note that the results are even more impressive when considering games following a blowout by 8 plus runs. Let's call it strategy number 1. Under such circumstances, we achieved a $49 profit over close to 1,000 games, which equates to a non-negligible return on investment, a ROI, of 5.3%. I'm not sure if you realize it, but that's a great ROI for such a huge sample size. That's a very promising MLB betting strategy that we will scrutinize further. Meanwhile, betting Team B turns out to be a disaster. This strategy incurred a loss no matter the margin of victory, except if exactly 10, which was probably obtained due to randomness. So there is no doubt that we should absolutely avoid backing a team that just got beaten when facing the same rival the next day.
Let's first break down the results I just showed you into two separate cases, depending on whether Team A plays on the road or at home, when playing the same opponent once more.
The top table shows you the results when Team A was the home team, whereas the bottom table when they were the visiting team. Let's kick off by highlighting the fact that all of the profit on Team A arises when they are on the road, as we made $21.60 on the road versus minus $1.33 at home. However, a deeper look reveals a compelling finding. The gains are approximately the same on both locations if we focus on the strategy we raised earlier that I called strategy number 1, which consisted of placing a bet only if the margin of victory was 8 runs or more. Remember how we made about $49 from using this strategy in my dataset? Well, those $49 winnings came from about $28 on the road versus $21 at home. So those are pretty even numbers, which seem to indicate that this system works equally well on the road and at home. As for Team B, betting them leads to a $49 loss on the road compared to a $100 loss at home that just went in the garbage. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick it back up once I'm done shooting this video. And even focusing on cases where the margin of victory was large, nothing good comes out of it. So why don't we just stop talking about Team B? They just did badly.
Are there any signs that certain sets of odds provide more profitable situations? Let's assess the role of the money line under the current setting. In order to do so, I've separated the possible money lines into 11 categories. We then look at the profit made within each such category. Let's do the odds split.
Here is the odds split for strategy number 1, whose overall winnings reached $49. Yahoo! As you can see on your screen, the strategy is profitable across all odds, as we won money in almost all categories except the 3 of them, where the losses were minimal. So there does not appear to be any odds effect whatsoever, which means we should probably bet this angle no matter what the money line is.
A good way to gauge a system's reliability is to check its performance across years. Let's see how it plays out for strategy number 1.
Ooh, I'm so excited to look at the gains made by strategy number 1 for each season between 2010 and 2016 to see if we are going to officially accept this betting system. The fact that a good chunk of the gains were made in 2012 is not ideal, but we still notice 6 winning seasons versus only 1 losing one.
Yes!
Those are pretty consistent numbers, so my lucky lobster bells final call is that strategy number 1 is a viable and reliable betting system. Yeah!
Yes, keep it up, my friend. We're not done yet. Let's move on to strategy number 2, where Team A destroys Team B before facing a different squad called Team C.
Oh man, I wish I had this guy's cannon arm in the outfield. But let's get back to business. So once again, here are the results from placing $1 bets, but this time on teams A and C. The first observation is that both propositions are equally bad from a gambling perspective. As a matter of fact, they both induce a $17-18 loss. So this table nonetheless suggests a potential winning strategy. Let's call it strategy number 2. Betting Team C following a 7+ point blowout win by Team A over a different team, which yielded a $20 profit over close to 600 games. So we shall keep this tactic in mind as we refine our analysis in the following sections.
We now break down the results contingent on the location of the game. This is the road-home split under the second scenario.
All of the losses on Team A occurred on the road. When they were playing at home, the majority of the profits were obtained when the margin of victory was 5 or 6. So I do not see anything interesting here, because it would be illogical to bet Team A following a 5 or 6 point victory, but staying away after a win by 7+ run. Now I brought your attention earlier to the following potential betting strategy. Betting Team C when Team A won its previous matchup against a different team by 7 runs or more. The road-home split yields a $20 profit on the road versus a $1 loss at home. Therefore, it seems like we might stick to betting Team C on the road only. Let's call it strategy number 3. Betting Team C following a 7+ point blowout win by Team A over a different team, which is exactly the same as the second strategy, but only if Team C is the visiting team.
I wonder how the profit by strategies 2 and 3 was distributed as a function of the money line.
These exhibit the same strange pattern. We made a good chunk of money in the very first odds range, so we may be tempted to bet this angle only within that range, but a couple of arguments discredit this idea. First, the sample size in the first range is very small, at less than 50 bets, which makes the results less reliable. Secondly, notice how we lost cash in the following 3 odds ranges, which is not a good sign. So my final tip regarding these tables is simply to leave the money line out of the decision process. It doesn't seem to have an impact.
Alright, so we brought up 2 potential strategies where a team wins easily before facing a different opponent in their next game. Let's review the season-by-season performance for each of them.
This is strategy number 2's season split. Only 2015 incurred a loss, but it was a fairly big one. Still, we detect 6 winning seasons versus only 1 losing one. So, should we adopt this betting system? Well, let's first see if strategy number 3 showed better consistency or not. Here are the results for strategy number 3. Once again, we get decent results, but this time 5 winning seasons compared to 2 losing ones. So in light of this, I believe the consistency was better for the second system. So my lucky lobster bell officially endorses strategy number 2.
Wow, you are not a quitter. Congrats for sticking around. Here's the third and final scenario. Team A roughs up Team B, and Team B's next game is against a different squad called Team D.
Wow, you must be very serious about becoming a savvy sports investor. Congrats for sticking around all the way to the final and third scenario. So here are the results from placing $1 bets on teams B and D. We observe a similar pattern to the previous scenario, where both options seem to be equally poor overall. We may still want to examine further a prospective strategy that I'm going to call strategy number 4. Betting Team B after they were defeated by 11 runs or more against a different opponent. The gain was about $16 over 78 games. So we'll dig deeper, but I'm wary of the small sample size here.
Let's see how the location of the game may or may not affect the gambling outcome under the third scenario.
Recall how we suggested earlier that it might be a good idea to bet Team B whenever their previous game was a loss by 11 runs or more, when now facing a different team. Well, despite losing much more overall when backing Team B on the road, it's good to see how restricting ourselves to the case where the margin of victory was 11 or more yields a positive gain no matter the location. In fact, we won $8.15 on the road compared to $8.20 at home. So this angle does very well irrespective of where the game is played.
We intended to pay attention to the case where we bet Team B if the margin of victory was 11 or more. What's the performance of the system across all 11 odds categories? The answer follows in 3, 2, 1.
Nice! Look at this! 9 out of the 11 odds ranges generated positive gains.
Yes!
The phenomenon that stands out is the following. Hey, enough! The odds do not matter here. Just bet no matter what the money line is.
A single strategy, called strategy number 4, was reported in the case where a team gets blown out before facing a new opponent. How was its $16 profit distributed across the years?
The results are not bad. 5 out of the 7 seasons provided some winnings. Despite a small sample size, it prompts me and my lucky lobster bell to recommend this strategy with caution.
Let's summarize the findings from this study by recapping the 3 betting systems that seem to offer the most promising outlook.
Alright, so let's summarize the blowout betting strategy, which basically consists of 3 different systems. So it all starts with Team A blowing out Team B by X runs. Okay, so X is going to represent the margin of victory. So in the first scenario, the first betting system, these 2 teams meet again the next day. And what you need to do is bet Team A, the team that blew out its opponent, if the margin of victory was 8 or more. So if X was greater or equal to 8. Second system, Team A, the team that blew out its opponent, is now facing a different team called Team C. And what you need to do is to bet Team C if X is greater or equal to 7. So So basically you are fading the team that blew out an opponent, a different opponent the previous day. Finally, system number 3, Team B, the team that got blown out yesterday, is now facing a team called Team D, and what you need to do is bet Team B if they got blown out by 11 runs or more. Now the $1,000 question is, what can you expect to earn from using these 3 systems in the future? Well, the first betting system I just showed you is expected to generate about a $7 profit every year from placing $1 bets, remember. Second system is not nearly as good. It's expected to produce a $3 win every season, while system number 3 should generate about a $2 gain every year. So if you add these 3 numbers up, you get a total of about $12. Okay, so now I'm assuming that you are not betting $1 on every play. If you are betting an average of $100, you should expect to make more than $1,200 every MLB season. Nice! That's very nice.
Alright, we are done with the blowout effect. But before you go, let me get something off my chest. I just don't understand why some sports bettors listen to tips from some bozos screaming at them and telling them that this team is the lock of the century. I mean, there's no such thing as a guarantee to win pick. Instead, why not use objective betting systems that have proven to work over time, where there's scientific data to back them up? I mean, the choice seems so obvious to me. I may not be the most flashy or expressive person, but what matters to you should be the quality of the picks, right? Now don't go away. Go watch my other videos for more winning strategies that will make you more money. I'm Professor MJ, Statistics University professor. I'll see you in my next video.